Alright, guys. We're here with another great replay. Have an Artemis level random here. I random Horus um, in this game, so it's good. Another great replay. A lot of action, a lot of teamwork. Um, and again, another common theme is that the opposing team has Jan and Abel together. So here we go. And Makana's randoms Ignis, which is also one of his mains, so it's kind of funny. So top team, you have myself, Tiny, and Makana's. Tiny is an upcoming player. Um, he's a pub player, but we kind of get him for in-house sometimes. In this case, because we had Zeros, or Ias, that was his old name. We can balance it that way. With bottom team, we have Zeros as Dark Fact. Matt, of course, is Abel, and Toot Colin. Looks like he steals that box. Nice move there. And Toot Colin is Jan. Now, apparently, Toot Colin, his name, the T-O-O-T part, is like a guy with eyes flipping you off, but I'm still going to call him Toot Colin. Zero's doing a good split there. But thankfully Horus has such a large splash that it's a little better. Makana's trying to get that box back. Forgot to chat Aloe right here. He's asking me if Reaper Man would be good for this in-house challenge. Yeah, I think so. I mean, at this point, if he plays his mains like Bear 9, I think his Bear 9 is pretty good. Everybody's complaining about teams, but I'm not even going to get into that. So, alright. Let's take a look, see what's going on here. It's about 3 minutes. Tiny has pushed his lane a little better as far as the big Marines go. Take it easy. I am taking it easy. Colin kind of being a little risky here. Hanging out with that much HP. I think Maconis is either waiting. No, I would have gone up to him and harassed with the Z. Probably would have won by now, but he took that hit. Matt landing a nice hit on Tiny, but Tiny does use that little life leech to escape. Looks like Matt charging up his mana, and looks like he does manage to harass Tiny, trying to get that leech again, but he's too late. I've got a mana card here with Horus. I went 5 mana. This is actually my new strategy with Horus, although I don't really play him anymore because he's terrible. You go mana card and just harass really hard. And it looks like Matt ganks Maconis there. And Maconis does lose his respawn there. Well, no, actually, looks like he did get his extra 4 Marines, so I don't know what he's talking about. At this point, I'm quite ahead. In my lane, I'm 2 levels ahead, which is good. Maconis does save his creep there. Now, mind you, I don't think I do this well or anybody on our team. I think we end up losing this, but I think towards the end it gets some pretty good action going. But I think my KD ratio was terrible in this. Zeros doesn't have a potion yet. I'm trying to bait him to see, to get him to use judgment, but not with the new silence the way it works. It's just absolutely terrible. I mean, it doesn't make any sense for people to be able to cast abilities after they're silenced, because that leaves a gap. And Matt jumping in there with a potion, nicely done kill, finishes off with that chaos beam. But back to Horus, casting after you're silenced, it really breaks that whole concept of silence, basically. At this point, I'm just gonna go for it. So far, Matt has 3 kills on Tiny. Kind of not a good thing, I guess. We should have gone to the middle a lot sooner in this to kind of help Tiny out, but Matt always there, always there. Mr. I love to gank. Omnipresent Matt. He can blink anywhere on the map. His Chaos Beam has 50 range. It's just always there. Zero still doesn't have a potion, still not ready for conflict. Not a good idea. Probably thinking he needs to go eco versus Tiny uses a potion here. Poorly timed. 7 mana Bri. That's not too bad, I guess. Connus does take out Colin. Matt is blocked by Tiny, so he can't really go and help, but this is not a good idea. Tiny really working himself into a corner here. At this point, yeah, hi. I don't really know what to do. I'm trying to wait to see what's going on. I'm just gonna farm Tiny's tanks because they need to be taken out. Things are still pretty quiet right now. I mean, our teams are 4-4, which it's not that much action early game, but it does get pretty crazy later on. Zeros does have a potion now, which that's pretty good. Now, I put this ultimate here. This is why I did this, because I wasn't sure where he was. He might have been right around here, camping. So, by putting that ultimate down, he can't really use judgment in that area. Kind of shielded me from any kind of harm. I think we just killed Matt. Ended his reign of terror and shut him out, or shutting us out. Colin comes up, does land a curse on Tiny, just finishes him off with the balls. Still no speed for McConnell. I probably would have gotten some speed at this point. Colin, despite having pretty good progress in his lane, I would have gotten some shields. Laura showed me this video yesterday of this replay from ladder or some kind of competition in ladder, and alright, so I'll tell you about it in a sec. So it looks like I did land a kill on Matt trying to jump in there, but I know he's watching, so I'm gonna make him think that I'm farming and get him to blink because I have another potion. I just try to at least take him out there. Good. So this video basically is a 1v1, and this guy six pools the Terran. So after he scouts him, I think he realizes he's getting six pulled. Or no, he doesn't scout him. I don't know how he knew it was Zerg or not, but anyway, he takes an SCV and he builds a command center off to the side, like somewhere off in the corner of his base to where you couldn't see. But he leaves the other SCVs hanging around his original command center as if he were AFK. And so like basically this guy six pulls him, takes his stuff out, and then doesn't find any other base. He's scouting the base for like 5 minutes. He's running around the whole map trying to find his base, while this guy has his other command center floating in like a obscure part of the map. And this guy ends up quitting, rage quitting, because he couldn't find him. It was really hilarious. Kind of one of those you had to be there moments, but tell your friends. Matt looks like he's on fire, probably because Abel is such a raging homosexual. I think that's the most logical explanation there. I really wish they would give Horus charge back. I mean, especially now with all the nerfs they've given him, he's really not at all, I don't know, useful or powerful. He really has no purpose. I mean, everybody says he's support, but he really isn't. I mean, it's not really that significant when people can still cast their spells, like turrets or traps, so. Getting that combo on Matt. Zero's coming in for the action. I'm trying to bait him to come out, but I do get away just in time to get him again with the feedback. That was a nice little play there. Let's see what McConnell is doing. Toot Colin landing a nice little force field there. McConnell's taking advantage of Toot's Colin's reactions are pretty slow with Jan, I'm going to have to admit. And so one thing you can take advantage of someone who has slow reactions with Jan is outburst them, because Jan is very weak, and a lot of times a real critical strategy with Jan is basically do a lot of damage in a short amount of time before they can react and use the shield. So that's what McConnell did pretty well there. Matt does see me. That was kind of a silly move for me to be there. I baited him to blinking at me. At this point, I think he does get away by just a hair. Coming back for more there. Tiny still doesn't have any shields. I would have gotten some shields by now. Looks like McConnell does kill Colin, but he also dies. Tiny actually, I found him in a pub. I added him to my list for people to invite, but he uses so many potions. He's like the pub level of Artemis. They're pub equivalent when it comes to those. Like to the point where it's just counterproductive. Nice little gank there on Matt. Nice for him to feel what that's like. I give Matt a lot of hell, but he is a really good player, and he's funny. So Abel is no longer. Matt is really conscious of that map, always watching. Kind of taking the high road there, running, trying to bait them both into coming so he can take advantage of that huge splash damage. But he does die in the process. The levels are somewhat even. Pretty much even right now. Kills are about even. They're one kill ahead. So it's been pretty consistent so far. Despite having two people with their mains and arguably, I mean, Team 2 has the less skilled players with Colin and Zeros, but goes to show you, middle player is so important, and Jan is also a huge factor as well in just overall defensive strategy, overall teamwork, that kind of stuff. Yeah, throwing that beam and running. Classic Abel strategy there. It's a good way to bait people into doing stuff. Nice little bait and switch there by Tiny and McConnell. That Igna's ultimate skill is actually very strong. It does quite a bit of damage from long range. Tiny still needs to get some shields. He's probably been wasting his money on potions, but I love how you can blink after you're silenced. You notice that? That makes a lot of sense there. Kind of, Abel is really good, but if you sacrifice the blink and you limit yourself to a position, then it's pretty much really easy to take him out. Zero's not being as aggressive as you should be with Dark Fact. I would have definitely had my bunker down by now. And he's not really aiming that little Z-shaped skill on the turrets like he should be with the corner hitting the turret so that it does the most damage. Bry is a very potent hero, but Tiny isn't really utilizing him to the fullest extent. Colin warps out. Nicely done there. Kind of had a feeling he had a warp, but good teamwork there by Zeros and Matt. Makanis almost kills Colin. Matt blink dodges my silence there. Does have a potion. And I get lured into a trap there. Nothing like Abel and Jan. I really should start learning Jan, Seems to be the hero of choice these days. Colin is camping that top tower. Colin does not use his shield very much, as you can see. Almost gets a 2-for-1 there, Makanis, but that does get away. Makanis is mad that Tiny took his stuff. Matt placing the Chaos Beam a little bit too late. I don't think they realized I was there. I don't know what I was doing there. I think I was just kind of forgot that I was at low HP. Nice team play there by Team 2. Good beam, and then everybody else kind of jumped in. Good guesswork there by Matt, But it looks like Matt did have a health potion, yeah. And I killed Zeros again. Dark Fact actually, before the silence change, Horus would just be, that's not a lane you could win ever. Dark Fact versus Horus. But now, with the silence change, Dark Fact can actually win Horus pretty easily with Judgment. It's very difficult to win a good Dark Fact because you know when to harass, when to use a potion, and so on and so forth. Yeah, see the blink after silence, I don't like that. I think that's silly, and doesn't make any sense. Pretty much, what's the point of using silence then? That's alright. It's about 30 minutes in the game and we really haven't pushed our bunker. Kind of been going pretty slow here. Do I have a warp? No, I don't have a warp. I just die for no reason. Colin using a health potion in that fight. Nice little back and forth. Oops. Check if my mic is still plugged in. Yep, still there. Matt waiting there to ambush Eddie Wood. But Zeros does catch me with that little Z-shape Claria field. Nice aim there by Makanos with a speed card as well. Nice little right around there by Makanos. Tiny is offering Makanos to take the towers, but at this point I'm like, just take everything. I don't care. Makanos is the highest level. Just take your stuff and let's keep it going. I need to pause here. My nose is getting stuffed. Alright, here we go. Alright, sorry about that. I must have a lot of dust in my house. Just getting annoying. Alright, so here we go. So it looks like, yeah, I need to get out of there, otherwise I just don't survive. At this point I was mad. Abel just, man, he is so rage-inducing, Abel and Jan. That looks like he dropped 2 potions there. But Colin coming just in time to save the day, but also does die there. Matt does get away. Trying to chase Zeros down here. Matt beams down. Zeros throws a judgment down. Matt uses his teleport. Both of us come in there. A little bit outnumbered there. Team 2. Colin is out on his own. He could have taken the advantage of doing Shift Q by luring the Colonel, to the side and getting both. Looks like Matt does take out McComas there. I missed it though. Yeah, here's another bug, by the way. uh, medic can use her shield while silenced and while also in the ultimate, so that pretty much makes Horus useless. Like, if you were to define useless, this would be the replay you would find in the dictionary for CT. Nice beam there by Matt, as usual. Or Makana says I have a teleport. He teleports a little bit too late. We came just a little bit there right after he teleported. Um, or the teleport's too early, I should say, not late. Colin does get stuck in there, but he does put up his shield. He does get away with the teleport. I mean, this game gets kind of frustrating at this point when I realize that Horus doesn't cancel Medic's shield, which it should. It did used to. I think when they updated it, it just didn't take or something. I tried to chase Matt there because I knew where he was going, but I missed. Kind of stacking that armor, even though there's judgment. I mean, I guess, Yeah, that is just silly. I mean, Kana's chasing Matt there, trying to harass him to the point of where he can use his ultimate skill, but it looks like Colin is coming in to save the day. Does throw up his shield. I come in to try to slow him down, but Colin's shield does drop. But I do manage to kill him. Kind of using that Z skill to scout. It's a nice little skill. It's a great skill. It just auto targets and has a longer range than Blazing. For Blade Hunter, Blazing used to be like that. At this point, we're pretty outpushed, as you can see. Colin throws up his shield. I mean, at this point, this is a pretty significant bug. Medic is basically untouchable by Horus. We're trying to make a comeback here. Ignis can still, do pretty well against tier 2 buildings. Zero's throwing that judgment out, doing a lot of damage. I'm trying to kite him into that, and I do get the kill there. At this point, we're pretty close. Still, there's no team really leading as far as PvP, although they are ahead quite a bit by buildings. $37 to $35 for Team 2. Pretty good stuff. Yeah, Blink also is, that's really silly that you can cast Blink because let's see what does it say here. Disables Blink. Doesn't look like it. Zero's working himself into a corner there again. Now we've got a pretty strong opportunity to push here together. Ignis again is one of the best tier 2 pushers there are. He's got a lot of potions there though. Colin taking advantage of this time to just finish off tier 2. Kind of an issue. We're going to try to intercept him here. You can see the medic shield is still available in that ultimate and silence. Matt does a pretty good job there. At this point, he's got 38 armor. Abel late game with a lot of armor is very frustrating to deal with because he's very hard to kill. Mission did have the right idea back in April's tournament of last year with the 80 armor Abel. I'm trying to do my best to defend here, but this is just not looking good at this point. Matt barely getting away here. He is dumping quite a few. Looks like. Well, I don't know. Maybe he did only put one in there. But Colin does die. McConnell gets him. Nice job there by McConnell. Thanks, Alvaro. I remember in one of these replays, McConnell's chatted me something really stupid, and I was like, you realize this, people are going to see what you're saying, right? Now we're getting down to the wire here. Team 2, this is right now when defensive capabilities of Jan and Abel really start to shine, and it's just very difficult it gets increasingly harder to win the game now. And if Horace was the same as he was before all these silly changes, this would be my strength right now, is that late game I can neutralize one person, and that's a huge deal. Now you're saying, well, you can't neutralize anybody, but you can sort of help out, against everyone, which I don't know. I don't really like that idea. Makana's being the only one to survive. He is at 48 armor, cards, full potions. So at this point, he's got to make a difference. He's trying to decide whether to go, push or do I defend or what. He does miss some of his skills. Good chasing there. Ignis with a speed card is really, he pretty much might as well have charge cancel. I mean, he's so fast to begin with that, Khan's getting 2 kills there. Ignis is a great hero, actually. Really good hero. Matt getting caught up there. He does get taken out. So at this point, we can kind of even the score here. Although, this is a critical time because we have our general down. Our general is down, and that's not a good thing with Darkfact being on the other team. Connus is trying to utilize his potions as best as possible here. Doing the best he can. He does dump the rest of them. Colin comes up, tries to get him. I am trying my best to take this robot out, get some kind of money going. A lot of stuff going on here. I'm not sure what I was doing there. Matt is pretty tanky now with Darkfact coming up here. You can see just that one of those little clear area fields really just absolutely destroys the final building. But overall, a lot of action. Colin coming in to finish it off, using that shift Q for Jan, and does finish it off. So not a bad game again. Pretty even, 43 to 45. A lot of action going on. 18 assists for Team 1, 29 assists for Team 2. Again, kind of a pattern you see that team with Abel and Jan, they usually have much more assists. We were more, I guess, kind of individually focused in this round. Even though with Horace supposedly being good support, still had only 18 assists total. So pretty good game. Again, another close game. A good example of how Abel and middle is very, very critical. So hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you soon.